we want to just talk about some late breaking news that has come forth, and it's coming based upon a lot of the crisis that we're seeing here in our country. And for those that are staying tuned or new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe so that you can stay up with the latest reactions. We just want to really come on and talk about something that's really becoming a problem more and more. And as you see in the news, the Democratic Party is just taking things lightly when it comes down to this whole issue of illegal immigrants. And the fact of the matter is that right, wrong, or indifferent, whether you agree or not, the cleaning up of this whole issue is really important, because if not, a lot of American lives will be in danger, similar to this gentleman that we're about to see. Let's go in now live.
Uber after a shocking attack, which was all caught on camera. Take a look at this. An illegal immigrant driver was seen sucker punching him in the face and knocking him out. That attack left him hospitalized with a brain injury, and he is now here to join us and tell us all about what happened here. His name is Brian Coble, and he's the CEO of TC Biofarm. Brian, thanks for coming on this morning. We're glad you're okay right now. Before we get into talking about the suspect here, just fill us in on what led up to this. There's no audio in that video, but we see the guy just get out of the car, you're holding your dog, and then he just clocks you in the face. What happened?
You know, it was a very innocuous interaction. We had gone to get in the car, as is typical. I leaned in with the service animal to ensure that he was okay with the pet being with me. He said, no pets. I said, she's a service animal. We clarified that. He objected 2 more times, at which point, which happens regularly, I told him, look, cancel the ride and we'll move on, right? I'm not here to impose that issue if he's uncomfortable. We walked around the back of the car. Next thing I know, he's out of the car in my face. I put my hand out saying, get your car, and that's it. Next thing I know, I'm on my back in the hospital.
And here's the profile on this guy, if we can pull this up. He's an illegal immigrant from Russia, 42 years old. He illegally crossed into the sanctuary state of California.
So let's talk about this, right? This is the whole problem. And a lot of people are like, oh, we shouldn't get rid of the illegals. Look at what's going on. And not only is it a terrible thing that he's able to even get a job with Uber, but the fact of the matter is that he's assaulting an American. People think that that's not an issue or a problem. It really is. It's a threat. Illegal immigrants are a threat to our country. Point blank. This is just being one of them. Do you obviously think that somebody from another country is coming over here to be your friend? Where do we get those kind of ideas from? And the fact of the matter is that the church in general really needs to take a stand. And really, instead of getting behind the Democratic Party, getting freebies, free money, grant money, all these things in the name of religion, we need to really take a stand about what's really going on here. Because this is becoming a problem. And more, it's just going to get worse and worse. We're seeing it here with this Russian national, but also look at what's happening in some of our major cities in America. The Muslim populations are growing, and let's be frank about it. They're not coming over with the intent of being nice fellow citizens. Now, there may be some, not all, but here's the thing that we must realize. If you're not going to come over here the right way, then unfortunately, you shouldn't be here at all. I know that's hard to swallow, but you know what? It's the truth anyhow. We got to understand something, that we're living in a day and time where we have to think about our children and our children's children. And to love our neighbors means that we need to be on alert when things like this is happening. We need to be there. And the terrible thing is that people are watching this footage and they're taping it. Nobody's really doing anything or coming to the aid of this man. All of a sudden, it's like things like this that keeps happening. People are more and more getting just so uptight about this whole illegal immigration issue. It is an issue. And again, a lot of this is happening in democratic states. A lot of this is happening where illegal immigrants are coming over and they're taking upon positions of authority in our government. They're not here to help us. They're not here to make things right for us. They are anti-American. They're against our country and what we stand for. And if we're not careful before we know it, we will look just like their country. The fact of the matter is this. If you like your your immigration status, if you like being in a foreigner in your country, and you come over to the U.S. in a way that's proper, in a way that's legal, that's one thing. But if you came over here illegally, then it's by all means necessary you need to leave, because we're not trying to have you around here to attack our fellow Americans. And on top of it, a lot of them are coming with a whole nother agenda. And we've seen it during the Biden administration. Nobody's talking about it quite often nowadays, but the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of people that were paid by other countries to come over here with the intent of being violent, destructive, and trying to destroy the very country in which we enjoy those freedoms. Listen, if you like socialism, if you like communism, then by all means, take a flight and go to those countries and serve under those dictators, under those leaderships. But when you see that we're trying to clean up this mess that has been given to us and that's been handed to us, when I say us, I'm saying we, the American people, who have been just allowed hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of illegal immigrants across the border during the Biden administration. And it has cost us nothing but disaster. And you might say, well, illegal immigrants are doing jobs that a lot of American people don't want to do. Listen, that's not it. You can say what you want to say. The fact of the matter is that we need to really, really, really get it together. And we need to understand what's really at our doorstep.
Back in 2022, then, as usual, was caught and released into the U.S. by the Biden administration. After he attacked you, he was arrested for second-degree assault and battery, then was released on a $10,000 bond. But he is now in ICE custody, and ICE is seeking to deport him. You found all that out after the fact. What was your reaction?
You know, I was shocked. Uber is a $200 billion company. When you get in a car with the Uber sticker on it, it carries that brand weight. It carries the trust that you have in that brand. They imbue it into these drivers. So you would have assumed, and I had up until that date, that.
And let's face it here, when you get into an Uber, safety is number one. You should feel safe. You should be safe. But for this to happen, it's like, come on. And you know what? Let's be honest. There's been other cases where Uber has made poor decisions in hiring people and allowing people to drive for them in other major cities, and not just with illegal immigrants, but criminals, people with a criminal background, all this stuff. And it's like they're allowing these type of people to drive. You know why? Because it's all about the money.
They do background checks. They vet these individuals, that they've got a stringent process that's difficult to evade. And apparently that's not the case. You know, so I was taken aback, and it made me wonder, you know, how often has this person done it? How many other times is this going to happen? And how do you change that narrative and fix this so that it doesn't happen to somebody else?
And then I understand after this happened, Uber suspended your account while the driver was allowed to keep driving, even though you provided hospital records showing what happened. Fill us in. What did Uber do? How did they handle this?
Yeah, in fact, he picks up an Uber ride about 2 minutes later after leaving me for death, effectively. So when I got out of the hospital, I realized my account had been suspended. I corresponded with Uber. I sent them the hospital records. I sent them the police report. I actually sent them the contact information for the detective who was working on the case at the time, as well as had them speak to an eyewitness, and gave them my account along with pictures of the actual injuries. About 48 to 72 hours later, Uber just deactivated my account. So it appears to me that this is sort of their MO, right? Which is put yourselves, your end users, your riders in a dangerous situation. If something bad happens, disavow any sort of liability, any responsibility, any accountability. Throw your hands up and say it's got nothing to do with us, and then vilify the victims.
But if it would have been the opposite, and let's say this man had been a carrier of a gun, right? He's in South Carolina. Let's say he had his weapon on him. And if he would have killed the illegal immigrant, oh man, everything would have broke loose. There would have been hell on earth. People would have been covering it everywhere. Uber would have released a statement of, oh, I'm sorry to hear this. This is just another reason why we don't need guns and all those other things. And it's like, wait a minute, wake up and smell the coffee, somebody, please. Because to allow this type of behavior to keep going on, and then you wonder, and here's the thing, if you're an American right now in our country, right, and I'm talking about those who are born in America and those who are here, listen, this is one reason to conceal and carry. This is one reason. Guns were made to protect. And you know what? It's in situations like this that had the man been able to protect himself, I can guarantee you that driver wouldn't have punched him in the face. Sometimes you have to eliminate the threat. And that's just what it is. And it's so important for us to understand that this isn't just going away. So what do we need to do? We need to equip people, inform them that, you know what? Learn how to use a gun, learn how to, again, lawfully, learn how to be able to get the training you need so that you can protect yourself, because that's what this is all coming to. And so, again, it's not so that you can flash it around. This isn't cops and robbers. This isn't cowboys. No, it's no game. People's lives are at stake. This man could have died. He suffered a brain injury, all because some immigrant wanted to come after him and attack him.
And attack us. And that seems to be their process. And that's a very immoral way to go about your business, especially when you're a multi-billion-dollar global organization. You would think there would be a little more interest in humans out here.
And real quick, just want to tag out with what Uber is saying about all this. They say, quote, "There's no place for violence on the Uber platform. While we can't comment on pending litigation, Uber is deeply committed to safety and complies with all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations around worker eligibility." Brian, got about 10 seconds left here. Just looking for a yes or no. Have they reached out to you to talk about any potential settlement here?
Not even a little, and that'll tell you exactly what that statement that they lay out really means, right? What commitment to safety do you have if you're unwilling to speak about safety here?
Yeah. Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming on. Wishing the best for you and your health, and please keep us posted on how that lawsuit plays out.
Thanks for having me, Bill. I appreciate your time today.
So there you have it. That's what's really going on in our country as well. All these things, all this talk about, oh, our president is allowing all these things to happen. And it's like, no. We're trying to clean up the mess is what's happening. We need to clean up the mess. And what we need to do, okay, what we need to truly do as the people of God is take a stand. We need to really, really, really examine things like this, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know why you're talking about this. This has nothing to do with religion. This has a lot to do with, again, it's being one who is saved, sanctified, born again, a believer in Jesus Christ, who, when you love your neighbor, that means you will protect your neighbor. And so people coming over here illegally and encroaching upon a fellow American, that's not okay. That's not okay. And so we need to really wake up and smell the coffee. We need to really take a look at what's really going on around us, because again, it's only going to get worse if something's not done. That's why if you are in a democratic state, you need to really look at the issues that's at hand. Look at what's happening in different states. Again, this morning in Minnesota, there's a shooting at a Catholic school. There's a whole lot of things going on, and we as the people of God need to be prepared, because you never know when you're going to be in the marketplace. You never know when you're going to be just in the overall grand scheme of the everyday civilian life, and you just may need to be there. You may be in harm's way unknowingly. And so you want to be ready. And so it's important to understand how to be ready. If you're in a state that requires licensing and all of that, get that licensing, learn how to use a firearm, use it lawfully, use it to protect yourself, to protect your neighbor. These type of things are important because, again, illegal immigrants are not your friend. They're not trying to make America better. They're coming with an agenda. They're coming and they don't care about the law. They don't care about anything like that. All they care about is themselves. And we see that they're creeping into platforms, into politics that they do not belong. And somebody has to say it. Somebody has to be real enough to say, listen, there is a lot at stake. And if we're not careful, it's going to get only worse. I just want to say thank you for tuning into the channel. Like, share, and subscribe. I just wanted to do a little short video on this because, again, there's a lot out there that's going on. And we have to be ready to be able to give an answer. Again, the Bible pertains to God gives us everything for life and godliness, great and precious promises. But as pastors, we need to talk on these issues. We need to discuss these things, because if not, what's going to happen is the people in the church are going to stay uninformed. You don't separate your faith from your everyday life. Your faith is part of your everyday life. If you believe in Jesus Christ as Lord, and He is your Lord and your Savior, He has saved you, you submit to Him as Lord, then that means you have a role in everyday life. Your Christianity, my Christianity, does not just exist behind four walls of our house, of our churches, or even our workplace. We need to take a stand in this evil day. I'm your host, Pastor Stephen Woods. Thank you for tuning into the channel. Again, thank you for your support. I just ask that you would comment in the comment section below. Again, I just thank God for this opportunity, and may you have